Hi there, and welcome to the Hot Corner. I'm Assistant Sports Editor Nick Settman, and today we have in studio Assistant Sports Editor Ryan Trexler. Ryan, how are we doing today?
Good, Nick. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. And we also have Sports Editor Sam Stewart. Sam will be joining us later. Today in studio, we have some pretty good topics to discuss. First off, Super Bowl. Ryan, give me your thoughts on the Super Bowl. Ravens 34-31. What do you think?
I mean, the Super Bowl, all the hype that comes with the Super Bowl it can be a lot. And I mean, I definitely think the Super Bowl lived up to its potential. I mean, the whole power outage going out right after the big kick return by Baltimore, and then, young Colin Kaepernick coming back and, showing the fight and showing, potentially he could do it. The sad thing is they just fell a little bit short, but overall, I think it was a great game. I mean, it's good to see Ray Lewis go out, with a win. I'm not particularly a Ray Lewis fan, but always good to see a player like that go out on top. And it was definitely a well-fought game, I believe. Definitely a good game to watch. The past couple years, Super Bowls have been real good games, real tight games, not blowouts, which is definitely what you want to see to end the season. So I definitely think it lived up to the hype.
Now, the blackout. We have to discuss this, and I want to hear your opinion on it before we bring Sam in.
I mean, you got the whole surfacing of, it was on purpose, they wanted a better game, and I think that's a load of baloney. I mean, things like this happen. I mean, technology, it happens, it occurs. I definitely think, it was sporadic, it was different, it's not something you see every day. But I definitely think it did sway in the favor of San Fran a little bit there. They definitely did regain some composure, It allowed them, to stop and think, like, we're in the Super Bowl, we got to step our game up. So, I mean, it was definitely controversial, but I don't think it was intentional at all. I mean, it was a freak accident, and accidents do happen.
Okay. Sam, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, Sam, what's your opinion on the Super Bowl in a whole, and the blackout also?
As a whole, I have to say it's been one of those great games that has been around for a while, and in the first half, you never thought it would be like that. Baltimore ran out into a tremendous lead in the first half, and then after halftime, the blackout, that's when San Fran started to pull up, and that's what made that game so interesting. Is when you have those two teams, they were evenly balanced, I thought, going into the game, and I think John Harbaugh had Baltimore a little bit more prepared going into it. I think Jim was a little more stoic, a little bit more hard on his players, and I think that kind of cost them in the first half. But with the whole blackout situation, there's a joke going around that Kanye turned off the lights after Beyonce's halftime performance. And we're just like, I have to give Baltimore its credit, but Beyonce just had the best performance of all time. So that's what I heard. But there's reports going on ESPN.com saying that there is worry that the power might go out before the game even started. So I don't think it had any influence. I don't think the power outage had anything negative to add to the game. I think San Francisco got a little bit more of an edge because of it, because they got more time to prepare and regroup. Because Jones's kickoff return in the second half to start it off, that was going to push the game away. And I think that blackout helped a little bit. I think it did and it didn't, if that makes any sense, Nick.
Yeah. No, I'm following you, Sam. And all jokes aside, I do have to say Beyonce did have probably the greatest halftime performance I've seen in a long time. But Ryan wants to disagree, but we'll save that for another day. Momentum, I do want to say, Ryan alluded to that a little bit. Sam, do you think, had the blackout not happened, do you think the momentum would have ever shifted San Fran's way?
Well, if the blackout never happened, San Francisco wouldn't have an extra half hour to regroup, so no. I think Baltimore would have kept the lead. Joe Flacco was playing a great game. Their running game was a little iffy at best. Their defense was playing phenomenal, and they had Colin Kaepernick confused pretty much the whole game. So I think that blackout gave them an extra half hour added on from that halftime to regroup, re-strategize, see what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong. And I think they came out after that blackout and had a better showing in that second half that ultimately brought that game close and brought it to a goal line stand at the end of the game. So, yeah, I have to agree that blackout did do a little bit of good for the 49ers, a little bit of bad for the Ravens.
Yeah, and it did a lot good for the NFL as a whole because, I mean, that game did seem to be a blowout in the first half. And coming down to, you alluded to that last goal line stand, a lot of people were, tuning back in on the edge of their seats after that. So, Ryan, do you have anything on what Sam said?
I would definitely agree with Sam on that one. I mean, the 49ers needed something to turn around, something to go in their favor. And if it was the lights out, then that was it. I mean, the game was getting a bit out of hand. That kick return definitely almost set the stone for a San Fran loss. But, I would say the power outage definitely helped favor San Fran there. And, I give props to Baltimore coming back, stopping their momentum like that and being able, to shut them down and stay focused and get that Super Bowl win, a big one at that. So, I would definitely say, though, the power outage helped San Fran, but props to Baltimore for stepping back up and closing down the game.
Definitely have to give, our congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens, regardless of, the power outage at all. Sam, do you have any last thoughts?
I don't know. It's nice to see Ray Lewis go out on his own terms, even though I don't agree with him in his personal life. There hasn't been a lot of players that have gone out on their own terms. I think Elway was the last one to do it when he won the Super Bowl. Jerome Bettis is another one. I forgot about him. Jerome Bettis went out on his own terms as well. But it's nice to see a player go out winning the championship because that's what everyone strives for. And for Baltimore to recognize Art Modell and his ownership and to have Lewis go out on his own terms, it's just a magical season for them. And Flacco's going to get a great contract after this, too. He was on Letterman last night or 2 nights ago talking with him about his new contract and what might happen. I think he's going to be one of the higher paid quarterbacks in the NFL behind Brady and Manning, of course. But he really cemented himself as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. He's flown under the radar for a while now, and I think now he's finally getting his due.
Definitely agree with you.
Yeah,
it's always good to go out a winner, and
Absolutely.
as you said, pretty much everybody on the Baltimore Ravens is going out a winner this time.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
well, that was our first edition of the Hot Corner. I thank Ryan, and I thank Sam. My name's Nick.